bonjour à tous. Je m'appelle Carmen, I'm Carmen, and I'm here from the Lifelong Learning Directorate to talk to you about the courses it offers. These courses are offered at different levels: MQF Level 1, MQF Level 2, SEC level, and also conversation classes for languages. As you may assume, I come here from the country of France to talk to you about the French language and how easy it is to learn this language. Maybe you loved science when you were young and you thought languages were humbug, or maybe you weren't interested in learning any languages at all. Now you have another opportunity through the lifelong learning courses to learn such a language. Maybe you need to travel to a French-speaking country. Il y a beaucoup de pays francophones. There are so many French-speaking countries all over the world. So maybe you need to travel for work or as a holiday or whatever the reason. Or maybe you want to enhance your personality by learning a foreign language. Well, here you are. You have all the chances in the world to do this. Let's talk about France and what are we going to learn in these lessons, in these courses. Well, it's something very, very beautiful indeed. You should let us go on this journey. We'll go on this journey together through the country of France, which has a very eventful history. It has had a very eventful history indeed. If we think of Louis XIV, le Roi Soleil, the Sun King, and then if we think of la Révolution Française, the French Revolution of 1789, which not only changed the history of France, but the history of the world. The French got their drapeau, the French flag, le bleu, blanc, rouge, blue, white, and red. They also got their Marseillaise, the national anthem from the revolution. They also got their constitution and so many other things. Their national day, the national day, la fête nationale, est le 14 juillet, is on the 14th of July, because that is the day when the common people stormed the Bastille and started off the revolution. In fact, it is called Bastille Day up to this day. It's on the 14th of July every year. We have other personalities. Louis XVI and Marie-Antoinette, sa femme autrichienne, his Austrian wife, and Louis XVI, whose heads were chopped off during the revolution. And then we get, after the revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French general from the island of Corsica, who became very, very famous indeed, who had an excellent home policy, but who failed miserably in his foreign policy. He was here in Malta for a couple of years too, around 1798. So many others. And then we get personalities like Gustave Eiffel, who gave the Eiffel Tower to France, and so many tourists too. And how about the music? Edith Piaf, who hasn't heard of her? Je ne regrette rien. Do you know that song? Please listen to it and learn it. Learn how to pronounce your French R through that song, because she does it very well. And La Vie en Rose, who hasn't heard of that song? And then we have other modern, Vanessa Paradis, Patricia Carr. We will go through their music, their popular songs, and we will learn our grammar that way and our language that way, because I think that's the best way to learn. La gastronomie, then. La gastronomie française, c'est aussi quelque chose de culture. It's also something that is cultural. We have so many types of cheeses. Le fromage, la bouillabaisse, which is the fish soup from Marseille, les grenouilles, the frogs, les escargots, the snails, la moutarde de Dijon, Dijon mustard. Who hasn't heard of these? And quiche Lorraine from the region Alsace-Lorraine, because each region has its own speciality in food as well. Et puis les monuments, la Tour Eiffel, les musées du Louvre, where the Mona Lisa stands, les musées du Louvre, Versailles, le palais de Versailles. I had mentioned it before. It was Louis XIV who adorned everywhere, who made gilt, gold everywhere in Versailles. L'Arc de Triomphe, et plein d'autres, and so much more. What is the best way to learn a language? Well, the best way is really immersion, l'immersion, which means that you go to live in the country where the language is spoken. That would be the best way. However, it is not possible for us, for all of us, to do that. So the next best thing is to take up the lifelong learning courses. In fact, today we are going to see how we are going to tackle our language. We are going, obviously, to learn the 4 skills: reading, writing, comprehension, and also speaking. Yes, speaking. You may think it is very difficult for you to speak French, but I'm going to show you that it is not difficult at all, if you follow my advice. Voilà, ici, we are going to learn today how to greet someone in French. And then obviously if we have greeted someone, we're going to say goodbye. And then we're going to learn a few words of politeness so that we may sound polite when we speak French. And then we're going to see how we place, how we put into place something. And then we're going to talk about nationality. And finally, we're going to introduce ourselves. And we're going to do all that in French today and now. Look here. Langage familier. The first thing I need to tell you is that there is always the formal and informal way of addressing people. So, langage familier, an informal salutation. That is when we greet a friend or somebody we know very, very well, or someone who is younger than us, a child, for example. Comment saluer quelqu'un? How to greet someone. Salut, that is the word we use. Salut, hello. Bonjour. Bonjour is for the formal, but French people use it all the time because we have to be practical and imitate them. Ça va, these 2 little words, ça va, mean a lot. They are used all the time. They can mean, how are you, if it is the intonation of a question. And as an answer too, ça va, ça va, ça va, I'm fine. And you, et toi, oui, oui. Now, oui is what they write for yes, and ouais is what they say. Oui, ouais, ça va, I'm fine, yes, I'm fine. Now we go to the langage formel, the formal salutation. Saluer quelqu'un, poli, how to greet someone more politely this time. It may be someone you don't know, it may be your boss, whatever. Bonjour, monsieur. Hello, sir. Good morning. Bonjour, madame. Good morning, madam. Ça va, you can also use ça va, although it is in the informal part, but you can still use ça va. Ça va, you can also answer with ça va. Et vous, but if you note, the tu becomes vous for the formal salutation, for the polite form. Oui, ça va, merci. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Comment vas-tu? How are you? How do you do? We are using tu, so it's not the most formal. The most formal is that one. Comment allez-vous? How do you do? Comment allez-vous? How do you do? Now, my motto is repetition. So as I go along through my lessons, I repeat and repeat until everybody learns it and understands. Now, if we've said hello, obviously we need to say goodbye. So, prendre congé, ça veut dire, that means how to take leave of someone. Comment prendre congé? How to say goodbye. Dire au revoir. Au revoir, goodbye. We can also use salut. You know, the everyday street language is not informal at all. So even to say goodbye, you can say salut or ciao, also used in Italian. Au revoir, goodbye. À bientôt, see you soon. À la prochaine, see you next time. And now we come to good manners. Good manners, la politesse. Please, s'il te plaît. Again, I'm using te, so I'm either addressing a child or a friend or someone whom I really know or a family member. I still need to be polite. S'il te plaît. S'il vous plaît, obviously, please, if I want to be more formal. Merci, thank you. Merci. Je voudrais, I would like. We always use the conditional if we want to sound really polite. Je voudrais, je voudrais. For example, if I'm at a restaurant, I say, je voudrais des escargots, par exemple. I would like, hope you remember that, some snails. Merci beaucoup if I want to say, to give a deeper thank you. Merci beaucoup. Watch out, beaucoup is rather a funny spelling, so be careful because it's a bit tricky. Pardon, excuse me, and désolé, I'm sorry. And now we come to this. Identifier une chose. How to identify something. Look at that question. It sounds rather frightening, doesn't it? Unless I tell you the trick of how to pronounce it. Look at this. That's pronounced as S. Just say S. This is que. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est? Let me hear you say it. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Bravo, vous êtes tous bravo. It means, what is it? And the answer, we just take the last part. C'est un magazine. It's a magazine. Let's repeat. I want to hear you. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is it? C'est un magazine. Let's have another example. I want to hear you, please. Let's say it together. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is it? C'est un livre. It's a book. Voilà comment c'est facile. If you know that this part is pronounced S, then it's very easy. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un livre. And I'm sure you hear a lot of qu'est-ce que c'est if you go to France, so you will know what they are saying. And now we come to introducing ourselves. How do we introduce ourselves? Se présenter. Comment se présenter? I think you've learned by now that the word comment means how to do this or how to do that. I must tell you this. Les noms et le prénom. Les noms is the surname in French. Et le prénom is the first name. So we have to look out for that as well. Tu t'appelles comment? What's your name? Or, saying the same thing practically, comment tu t'appelles? What's your name? C'est quoi ton prénom? What's your name? What's your first name? Now this quoi means what. It is used all the time, formal and informal, by the French. However, if we come to use it, we have to be a little bit careful because sometimes it may sound a little bit rude. Okay? But, c'est quoi ton prénom? That's what they say. Je m'appelle Carmen. My name is Carmen. Moi, c'est Carmen. Je suis Carmen. So those are three ways which we can answer this question. C'est quoi ton prénom? Ou comment tu t'appelles? Ou comment vous appelez-vous? Parce que maintenant, on va à la prochaine, on va voir une conversation informelle. We're going to have an informal conversation. So informal, we're going to use salut, ça va, etc. Salut, ça va? Hello, how are you? Oui, ça va, et toi? Yes, I'm fine, and you? Oui, ça va? Yes, I'm fine. Tu t'appelles comment? What's your name? Moi, c'est Marc. Et toi? Je m'appelle Jean. My name is Jean. Et voilà comment c'est facile. Salut, ça va, etc. Avec quelques mots, with a few words, you can hold a conversation. And now we are having the formal conversation. Comment vous appelez-vous? I told you before that the tu becomes a vous in a formal conversation. What's your name? Vous vous appelez comment? We changed the word order and it still asks what's your name? Comment vous appelez-vous? Quel est votre prénom? What is your first name? Votre nom de famille, your surname. Vous êtes monsieur, you are Mr. Je m'appelle Monsieur Durand ou Jean Durand. My name is Mr. Durand or Jean Durand. On va voir maintenant une conversation langage formel. We're having a formal conversation between two very important people, so this is very formal. Bonjour monsieur, vous vous appelez comment? Good morning, sir. What's your name? Clooney, George Clooney. Et vous? And you? Nicole Kidman. So that was very formal indeed, wasn't it? And now we come to talk of the nationality. And this is really very easy to explain. La nationalité. Tu es de quel pays? The word pays means country. So, from which country are you? T'es d'où? Where are you from? This ou with accent grave means where. Or, I could ask, quelle est votre nationalité? What is your nationality? You will understand nationalité easily because it resembles the English word nationality. Je suis italienne. I am Italian. And here we are using the verb to be, which we're going to hear a lot of that. For example, let's see how easy this is. Salut, je suis italienne. Et toi? Moi, je suis française. See how easy it is to talk about your nationality. Maintenant, on va pratiquer et répéter. We're going to practice and repeat through a simple exercise. And you will know that you have learned all of this today. Remplissez les trous avec salut, va, tu, et, suis, toi, je. So, since there is tu, toi, salut, it must be informal. Alors, informal, what do you think should go here? Salut, Correct. Ça va? Oui, ça va. Et toi? You see, we are repeating these two little words about which we talked at the beginning. Oui, ça va. Tu t'appelles comment? Moi, c'est Marie. Et toi? Je m'appelle Carmen. Et toi? Je m'appelle Mario. Je suis maltais. Voilà, je suis maltais. And now we go to the formel. Exercice formel. Remplissez les trous. Fill the spaces, les trous. Avec anglais, which means English. Vous, therefore, we know that it's going to be formal once we have the word vous. Comment, we've practiced that. How. Prénom, which is the first name. Et, which is part of the verb to be. And monsieur, which we said, in a formal conversation. So, vous appelez comment? Quel est votre prénom, nom de famille? Vous êtes monsieur, you are Mr. Vous êtes monsieur. Je m'appelle Monsieur Smith. My name is Mr. Smith. Ou John Smith or John Smith. Je suis anglais. I am English. Et voilà comment c'est facile. C'est très très facile apprendre la langue, la culture avec la langue, culture and language through song. It's a lot of fun. I have a passion for French and for France, and I want to share my passion of this language with you. I hope you have enjoyed this session, and au revoir. I see you in October.